How many of us have found ourselves completely embarrassed, like completely embarrassed, after opening our mouths and saying something that is quite either shameful, disrespectful, just all the way completely off the radar of what we're trying to actually say or of the conversation, and sometimes entirely hurting the person, the recipient on the other side, and creating hurt that was not our intention, but nonetheless created hurt. And after you've done this, you immediately, I don't know about you, but you immediately feel like shrinking back into like the wall, into the corner of that room, and pretending that you literally are not there, that that situation did not just happen. So the main purpose of this video is teaching you guys, and of the lessons that I've learned, of course, on how to be slow to speak, quick to listen, so that you can actually create more meaningful relationships. Also, so you don't land yourself into major trouble, because that's the likelihood of a person that just always ready to start talking before they even understand the facts. Yeah, so that's the intent of this video, and I know it will be helpful to you. I think a lot of times some people feel the urge of impulsivity to speak and say what's on their mind immediately, the second the thought just like comes in their heads. And I think a lot of us have had this. I have had this, where you feel as though I need to get my idea out, but as you're contemplating on getting that idea out, you're not even actually listening to the other person that you're speaking with, and then you then utter the idea, but you can clearly see in their response that they absolutely do not, like, they can tell you haven't been listening. They can tell you've been just in the like a rebuttal kind of mentality, where you want to make sure that your ideas are the ones that are heard. And there's nothing wrong with you wanting to express your idea. That is not the issue that I'm talking about here. I am talking about the importance of slowing things down, asking follow-up questions to truly understand the other person, before you then give your advice, your opinion, if it's requested, also, that is. And whether you really and truly do need to speak. Sometimes you don't need to speak at all. And so let's dive deeper. Let's dive deeper. Right. So one of the things that I believe, and from just experience and looking at others and speaking to friends, is that when we are very, very quick to just answer, rebuttal, give our own opinion, most of the time is that we may answer back with harsh words. Now, the effect of answering back with harsh words is that it inflates, like, just pure, like, anger. Yeah, it creates anger between you and the recipient person. I know a lot of us, maybe we're in a society where we sometimes, a lot of people can be very, very, on edge, argumentative, and I think it's okay to disagree with others, but it is in how you respond to somebody that you can either create an environment of learning and understanding. If you want to, make sure your opinion is heard just for the sake of it, I personally don't think there's any point in that. Use such wasted energy, because if the recipient does not understand what you've just said, there's lack of understanding. What was the point in you just getting all agitated and getting all that energy and trying to find the words to articulate yourself, and but it has not even landed. Like, the other person does not understand what you're saying. It's like a waste of energy. Might as well have just never said anything at all. And then on the second hand, that person is completely angry maybe with you, they're super frustrated. So when we speak, we have to know of what are the intentions of our words, and the only way to do that is slowing your brain down a bit. Take a breather, maybe repeat back to the person you're speaking with what they're saying. So from my understanding, are you saying X, Y, and Z? And then they can either say, yes, that's exactly what I'm saying, or maybe you've not heard me quite right. Because if you don't understand what they're asking you or their opinion, how can you then truly offer advice that is, you know, in line with the topic, or in line with the just the appropriate advice for that scenario? You can't do that unless you truly understand the other person. And granted, some people, I don't know about you guys, but we have all met those people who are just, when they start talking, they're gone. And like, you're just trying to find space in there to express how you feel. And with those individuals, you will most of the time find that they will tell you things that you didn't even want to know, you know? And so that's the other part of being slow, being a person that just talks. You will spill information that later on you go home, not even later on, like instantly, you just feel like, oh my goodness, I've just overshared. I have overshared. They did not need to know that, but it's out now. You can't take it back. And you can't then be like, oh, by the way, that's a secret. Don't tell anybody else. I mean, you can say that, but that information is now already out there. And so, if you don't want certain things about yourself to be circulating around, then you have to slow down when you're conversating with somebody else, because you're more likely, just in the nature of how we speak, to say something that you know you shouldn't have said, that maybe was not for you to say or to share, and was a story for somebody else to share, but you're privy to that information, but now you've just overshared somebody else's story, somebody else's information. It's not, I believe sometimes it's not even because you actually are trying to hurt somebody else or your friend or whatever. It's just genuinely because you're talking too much. The other part of this is not every information you're sharing is landing, is being received. You have to know when you need to share that information with a certain person, because if they're not in the frame of mind to seek, I don't know, the wisdom, the wise advice that you're giving, the honesty that you're sharing in a kind manner, hopefully, if they're not of that mindset, you are one, wasting your energy. You're like literally speaking to a brick wall, ain't nobody understanding nothing. So what's the point? There's many layers and reasons. I could talk about this subject, this topic for the longest, but those are just some of the examples of, you don't even need to speak all the time to other certain people because they're not in that frame of mind. So as good as your advice, it's true, it's honest, as good as it is, the context is not the time, you know? The person you're trying to tell is just not in the headspace. So you also have to be wise and observing the environment or the situation, or even like the energy that person is bringing. I hate this word energy, but in a sense of like, that's the best word I can find right now, but how they're coming at you is very important as to what kind, are they ready to receive that information. Maybe all that person needs is you just to hold a space for them to express how they feel, how their day has gone. That's a good conversation. So you just ask follow-up questions. Oh, so this so and so did this. How did that make you feel? I can sense you're angry about this. I can sense you're upset. You just help them maybe speak through their emotions, as opposed to you now bringing your, whole, I don't know, life experience and just say, well, when I was in this place, it's not about you right now in that conversation, it's about them, right? And the thing is, when you are also in need of someone to just hold space for you to let things out, how annoying is it when you start expressing something and that person is like, oh yeah, I went through this too, I did it, and it's no longer about the topic that you brought forward, it's about them. It is absolutely 100% annoying, 110% annoying. We've all been in that situation, and you know what? Sometimes we probably are those individuals as well, and so you have to be able to read the situation. This is just my advice. Ay, right, let's get back to this. Apologies, was interrupted a little bit, but it's all good. Where were we last off? So I think the thing that I was about to speak on was wise people. They take their time to speak because what they're trying to do is they're slowing their mind down so that it can catch up with what's truly in their heart. What are they, deep down, you know what your morals are, and they're usually one that are kind. You care about this person. You're not one that's trying to be harsh and bring people down. And so by slowing your mind down and just like sitting with that thought, you allow your mind to catch up with your heart. I wanted to share with you this mnemonic that I found whilst doing some research on this topic, and I'm going to actually put the article itself in the description box below so that you can have some time to read it yourself and just kind of really take in that information. So the mnemonic is think, and I'm going to go through what it stands for. So the T stands for true, the H stands for helpful, the I stands for inspiring, N for necessary, and K for kind. So the emphasis on this article is that if the information that you're trying to share covers all of those, so it's something that is true to, it's factual, and it is actually going to help the individual, you're delivering it in a kind way, and is it actually even necessary? Do you actually even need to share at this point in time? So you need to go through all of those aspects and consider, does this actually need to be shared? If it's a tick throughout all of those, then the article suggests that yes, maybe you should actually share that piece of information with that person that you're speaking with. And if it doesn't, then evaluate whether it's something that is actually important at this point in time. And if you're the kind of person where that maybe you already think in this type of way, and maybe it's just the delivery, the kind aspect of it is not something that you're good at, maybe that's what during that pause that you need to be considering. Or maybe you're the type of person who is actually quite well informed about a certain topic, so it's true, but is it necessary though? Do you need to share it right now? And maybe that is what you need to work on whilst you're taking a pause and considering, do I need to respond right now instead of reacting? Because a lot of us react as opposed to actually responding to what the individual has just shared with us or the situation. And this will really save you from a lot of trouble, a lot of humiliation and embarrassment and shame and hurt from you hurting others, and or you yourself being hurt obviously from the humiliation and just never wanting to speak again. So I really hope this mnemonic think, it actually works quite well. I think it was quite smart with that. It's an easy one, and I think if you implement it, I too will do the same. I think it's possible that it can really help us change the relationships that we have with those people that we meet, our family members, our close friends, and anyone, to be fair, that we have a conversation with. I really do appreciate this community that we're building here, the time that you're spending with me, and whilst watching these videos that I'm sharing with you all. I really hope to always share information that will help you be the best person, information that is necessary for growth, and that I truly do hope is actually helpful. And it's coming definitely from the heart. A lot of times I do take my time to think about the kind of content that I share with you all, because there's just so much out there. So I never want you leaving feeling that, oh, I wish I had not seen that video. So I never want that to be the case for you. So I do implore you and ask you and would love for you to join this community. So consider subscribing. I can't wait to see you. I'm looking forward to having you as part of this community, and you doing me this huge favor will just I don't know, it's just amazing, and I really, really do appreciate it. I feel like I've said really, really a lot, so apologies in advance. Have an amazing week wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching this video again, and I really do hope to see you in my next one. See ya. Au revoir. Bye.